Hello, my audience. Today I want to talk to you about how everything should happen in order and about order. And not about ordering anybody else, but about order of things. For example, in a sequence or in a room, there's order or disorder. And I feel that there should be an order. But what is funny is that each one of us has a different idea what that order should be. And for example, in a video, you probably would start the video by saying that, hello, my audience, today I'm going to be talking to you about, and not, well, thanks for watching this video. You know, it would be very funny if you reverse the order. You could do that. That's called creativity. There are also, these accepted norms about the order of things. And the funniest thing about the difference between the sexes, males and females, is that males and females think about the order of things in very different manner, like what comes first and what comes last and that kind of stuff. And it's understandable. But what I want you to make you understand is that if you kind of take a little bit of time today to hone the order of things and become conscious of it, what you are doing, then you can eliminate some extra steps, some extra work, that kind of stuff. Sometimes, if you change the order, you might end up with a better end result. But is it worth the time, the extra effort and the time that it will require? Ask yourself that question. And also ask yourself a question, if I do it in this order, will that upset anybody else? There are those people in this world that kind of go for the action now instead of planning now and action in the future. They just want action right now. And if you would do a movie, an action movie with that kind of mentality, do you know how much planning they have to put in that to actually film that thing? Do you have any clue like how much non-action there went first for that action to happen? Like, do you have any clue about that? It wouldn't be very, entertaining or funny to watch that, something like that. And if I want to show you, if I want to show you the truth, that would be a kind of a very honest comparison. Like 10 hours of somebody writing something, 10 hours of somebody, like talking with the actors about how to say this line, 10 hours of some freaking CGI guy, battling away with some effect somewhere, Like, do you have any clue about how much work it is? The order of things. There's a logic in some things. For example, in clothes. Like, what is the order you would put on clothes? Well, I would start with the socks, because it's lowest. Then you go for the underwear and, go for the pants and the shirt and the last thing, the hat. You might do it in a reverse order also. I not always follow these, patterns. And some people might deem that when you start a day, you should brush your teeth first and then go for some breakfast and maybe get out a bit and maybe head to work or something like that, and then get to your desk at the work and start working, answer some phone calls, some emails, this order. And what I feel is that when you get too autistic about the order of things instead of what you're actually doing, it becomes a huge, mess. It becomes a mess even though you have an order. It's a mess of ordered things, You might ask a question, is this the reason why we make such a mess of this, planet? I don't know. But what I'm going to say is that I'm a left-handed guy, and left-handed people just have a different order, of things. Of course they do, Nothing makes sense for a left-handed, person in the right-handed people's life. Everything happens, in the wrong order. So it's also about, these personal things. Think about it. So I can't create order in your life. It's the only person that can do that for you is you. But if you become a little bit more conscious the next time you do things and you look at your environment, you might go in your mind that I might do this first because it makes more sense, because then I don't have to, go like forwards and backwards, for example, in my workplace or in my home. But then you might also think about that. Are you like thinking too small? Because really, big thinker would like think in his mind, like, how can I change this environment so like this doesn't have to happen? You only think what you do. You don't think about how you would change the whole picture, the big picture. You take it for granted that you have to live in this way, and you know, like for example, I have a couple of water bottles over here, and it's always a pain in the ass to kind of fill those water bottles, because I use a water filter. It makes the process kind of a pain in the ass, but at the same time, it's healthier, and it's better for my health to drink filtered water. I would recommend that for you. And then when I have done that, like, what is the real block of me just living in a room that would have the water much closer? I think too small when I think that I have to fill those water bottles, when the thing is that I have to live somewhere where, water must closer to me. I don't have to fill those water bottles, it won't be such a pain in the ass. So when you look at two things and they are kind of like close to each other, far away from each other, then think about how you could change the whole equation. Don't just take this thing and take it closer to that thing. Take them both and bring them closer together. And I would believe that that kind of guy would be able to, with that kind of thinking, will be able to more easily supervise, people and become a boss, because he can look at it, from, big picture point of view, and probably maybe create a change of meaning. Yeah, so that's the message behind all of this, is that sometimes order is great, but sometimes it doesn't bring any organization. It doesn't help you to find the thing that you need. This is one of the things I'm going to say with my notes, for example, is that I never seem to have my notes, like I have so much notes, but I never seem to have them when I need them, They are never with me when I need them. And I tend to miss a lot of great things I have said. But because of that, maybe my memory has become a little better. It's one of those things you can also ask yourself, are you relying too much on external aids? Nowadays almost everybody does, we can't no longer walk, we don't want to. Some people can't even, but I mean that people want to kind of avoid everything, they don't want to speak, they don't want to walk, they don't want to, they don't want to do any of these basic things anymore. And the fact is that blocks you from reaching an order of things if you don't talk ever. You're never going to sing. You know, it's kind of like first you have to crawl, then you are gonna walk, and then you're gonna run, and then you're gonna sing like a freaking clown. You know, understand? Things happen in order. We have to first do this and then do this. And as I said, you know, there's this autistic tendency to at the societal level to insist on these patterns. Like first you have to go to schooling, and then you have to get to work, and then you're going to retire, and then you're gonna be, and you know, this why don't you start at the fucking, you know, old people's home, you know, when you're young, and then go backwards, you know, like what's the problem with that, and then end up, you know, at the fucking kindergarten, you know. Like it would make so much more sense, you know. I believe that 6-year-olds, they have much more capability than many, you know, 40-year-olds. So I'm working right there that I have seen, you know, that they are much more much more capable sometimes, you know. And yeah, but man, this was the video for you. It's my goal in this channel to kind of get your gears going and to get you thinking about stuff and to break your basic assumptions about life, because there's a lot of them. There's a freaking lot of them. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Everything has to happen in order, but everybody has their own order, and left-handed people will never understand. Thanks for watching.